top step payouts in 1 month. Looking for a simple, repeatable approach to take payouts and want to know how to take multiple consistent payouts from a prop firm? Well, you're in the right place. I'm going to explain how I did it. I'm going to share it all with you. So let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, how to get multiple payouts in 1 month from a prop firm? Well, first of all, like with any game you play, you have rules that you need to play within in order to win the game. And with prop firms, it's no different. They set rules for you to play within, and your job is to stay within those rules long enough in order to win/take payouts. So first of all, in order to play the prop firm game correctly, in order to take multiple payouts, I'm thinking to myself, well, what does my buffer need to be on these accounts? How much do they need to be in profit before I start thinking about payouts? And for me, I know based on my backtested data for the IB25, which is a strategy that I trade, that over a couple of years of backtesting, around about $1,600, $1,700 of drawdown is what I should expect. So for me, I'm looking to build my buffer on these top step accounts to be around about 2,000, which it roughly is on these accounts, which is great. So know your back tested data, know what your expected drawdown should be on your strategy, and then build your buffer accordingly. That's the first thing that I would say, and that's what I focus on. And then the next thing is read the rules of the prop firm that you're trading with. So reading the rules of Top Step, I need 5 winning days of $150 net profit on those 5 winning days. So 5 green days, $150 minimum on each, and I can take a payout on multiple accounts because I'm copy trading all of these accounts. So I'm thinking to myself, right, I know the rules, that's what I'm targeting. So it's important to read the rules of the prop firm you're trading with because it can differ from prop firm to prop firm. And then finally, when it comes to the third thing in order to take multiple payouts is focus on the base hits. And you can see here, just looking at the P&L calendar for one of my top step accounts for this month, that I'm doing exactly that. I mean, this one here was a bit of a sickener because I was just a bit short of my base hit day, but I didn't push it. I took the green day anyway. But the rest of the days, over $150, over $150, over $150. And you can see they're all roughly around about $150 because that's what I'm targeting for my day. Take my minimum day of $150, take my base hit, walk away, come back the next day, do it again. Because once you can then take 1, 2, 3, 4, not that day, 5, then you can take a payout. So for me, that was how I sort of approached this in order to take multiple payouts. Now, how did I actually manage to take 8 payouts from the month of May? Well, some of that work was from April as well. And if we look here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I took my final one, not here because I wasn't quite the basic day, but here, 5 green days of a minimum, $150. Take a small payout. I took a small payout. I didn't take a massive payout because I was still building towards that $2,000 buffer, but I wanted to reward myself for my consistency. So I took $150 from each account in order to reward myself. Why not? As I'm sort of building towards the buffer. And then again, I was just focusing on the base hit green days. And once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once again, 5 green days, take another payout. And that's how I sort of approached these accounts, by just focusing one day at a time, focusing on getting the base hit. And those base hits add up fast when you're really focusing on hitting those. It keeps your drawdown small on the accounts because you're not needing to risk a lot in order to get that base hit. And you'll be surprised how quickly these base hit days add up once you start just focusing on them, taking a trade, get the base hit, come back the next day, do it again. If you take a loss, keep it small and keep it controlled, and just come back the next day and try and get that base hit again. Focusing on just getting those 5 green days and not getting emotional when you do take a loss, you'll be surprised how quickly those base hits add up. So that's basically how I've gone about here taking all those payouts. Just very simple base hits and just trying to get those 5 green days. 5 green days always in my head. Now, I did promise I would show you a simple, repeatable, consistent strategy that made these results possible, and that's the IB25 strategy. Now, if you haven't already, go back after you've watched this video and watch the IB25 strategy video that I've made. It'll give you even more detail on the simple approach that I take in order to get these base hit days. But first of all, let me show you some of the winning trades from this month. Let me show you a survival day as well, and then also the losing day. The only one losing day I had this month where I had to be a really good loser. So first of all, let's go over some of the winning trades, and let's go for the first trade of the month here on the 4th of May. And if we look here at how this actually set up for the IB25, we've got the New York VWAP here anchored to the New York Open at 9:30 a.m. and we've had lots of wicks here, lots of closes above the VWAP, which is telling me that buyers are mostly in control. We had sellers trying to take control at the start, but then buyers have kept control with us being above that VWAP for most of the session. And then what I'm looking for, around about 5-10 minutes before the initial balance is set, because this gray line is the initial balance low, and this gray line here is the initial balance high. Initial balance forms between 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. New York time. And around about 10 minutes before the initial balance set, I'm looking for a retracement to this green line here, which is the IB25, the 25% retracement inside the initial balance. And I'm liking the setup because I've got the IB high here, which has a high probability chance of that breaking when the low of the IB forms first. And we also have as well the previous session high as well, which is another high probability level to aim for. So we got two high probability levels to aim for here with this. And well, how did this trade play out? Well, we entered here on the IB25 with a limit order here. We took a little bit of drawdown here, but the VWAP provided that perfect support. Price bounced very, very strongly, and then we got out on the break of the IB high and the touch of the previous session high. So this was a really, really nice trade to start the month, playing the right side of the VWAP and having two high probability levels to aim for. So this was a really nice trade. Let's go through one more winning trade. Let's go through, let's do the 8th of May. So let's have a look at the last trade of this week. And with this again, we can see here, right? Who is in control here looking at the VWAP? Well, we haven't had a single close below this VWAP. All the candles are closing above the VWAP. Great. Buyers are in control. I'm looking for longs. The IB low has formed first and the IB high has formed second. So we're more likely to break the IB high. I'm looking for retracement back to the IB25 around about 5-10 minutes before the initial balance set. Sometimes it may be when the initial balance set. It depends when it actually comes and taps my limit order here. But I'm looking for the trade there. Hopefully we don't get a close below the VWAP. And we can see here, how did this trade actually play out? Well, it played out beautifully. The IB25 provided that really beautiful sort of support level there, got in on a limit order here. Price then moved higher. I placed a high of day VWAP on this candle here because this was the high of day at the time. And it just allows me to see, is the trade playing out as I want it to? All the candles closing above the high of day VWAP. So that's a little top tip for you there in terms of another VWAP that you could use as well to support the trade you're in at the time. And we got the exit here on the IB high for another beautiful trade. All of these, once again, are base hits because I'm just looking for $150. That's all I'm looking for here. So once we get that, that's my $150 for the day. And I'm done for the day, which is great. That's all I'm looking for. Now, in trading, you're not going to win every single day. And there are going to be some days that you're going to have to survive. And one of those for me was Friday, the 15th of May. Okay. And if we look at the setup to begin with, I have to admit, compared to the winning trades we just went over, it looks a bit different, doesn't it? We've got some candles closing below, some candles closing above, below, above. We're a bit choppy around the VWAP. So at this point, I wasn't really looking for a trade. But then we had a super strong close through the New York VWAP. So I'm liking this at the moment. And because the IB low is formed first and the IB high is formed second, we're more likely to break the IB high. And we got the previous session low hanging above us as well. So we got a couple of levels here to target. So I was looking for retracement back to the 25% retracement level inside the IB 25, looking for a pop towards the IB high, looking for my $150 base hit day once again. And the way this trade played out, well, I was sat in this trade for much longer than I would have liked to. And you know, when I look at my data, any trade that I'm in for more than half an hour, 45 minutes, they tend to not win. And with this trade, because it was chopping around for so long, it was a Friday. I didn't want to be on the desk for too much longer, wanted to protect my mental capital. I didn't want to go into the weekend, you know, exhausted from this trade and losing a trade that probably I knew I should have just cut for break even. So I decided to do the mature thing. And once price got to here, I moved my stop loss to break even. This was around about 11:45 New York time. So I'd already been in this trade for well over an hour. It then came back and stopped me out for break even here. So I took a break even day. I mean, it did turn out the price did actually eventually go and take the IB high, but it didn't do it for another hour and a half afterwards, something like that. So for me, I was happy to miss the winning trade for the sake of protecting my mental capital and protecting my financial capital as well. I'd already had a great month by this point so far. I don't need to give away profits from a trade that's just not working out at the time. So that's where some days you just got to survive. And that was one of those days. And then there are going to be days that you are going to lose. You're going to lose on some days. For me, luckily in May, it was only one day, which is great. It's not, there's going to be months where I definitely take more than one loss for sure. But on the days when the loss does come, how you manage that loss and how you cope with that loss and how you cut that loss is absolutely crucial to your ability to be able to take multiple payouts. If you can't take a loss and you're going to blow up because you're emotional and you can't accept the loss, you will not take payouts. It's as simple as that. And if we look at this losing trade here, I like it, because we've got, a bit of chop here at the start, but then we've moved down strongly, got many candles closing below the New York VWAP. Great. The IB high has formed first, the IB low has formed second. So loving this trade once again. We're more likely to break the IB low. Okay, brilliant. Looking for retracement back to the IB 25 and then hopefully get a $150 basic day by taking out the IB low. Loving it. Thinking I'm liking it. Great. It's one of those where with any trade I take, I want to be proud of the trade I took. If it's a loss, I want to look back on it and go, I would take that again. And if we look at this trade here, we did get here in on the IB25 retracement level on a limit order, but then we were so close to taking the IB low, but unfortunately it didn't. It then grinded higher, and eventually, once again, similar to that survival day that I showed previously, I was in this trade for so long, I wanted to protect the mental capital, wanted to protect my financial capital as well. I had my stop loss here at the IB 75, but I don't like taking full stops. So once we had this close here, I decided to cut the trade for a small loss, which was fine. And that's part of my secret with negative RR strategies, because my approach is like a 0.5R profit target. So if I'm going to do that, I have to be willing to cut my trades on the days when it's just not working for me. And this was one of those days. Accepted the loss, was the best loser on the day, and I managed to keep the loss small. And by the end of the month, keeping that loss small rather than taking a full loss was absolutely crucial. Okay, so in summary, in order to take multiple payouts from a prop firm, number one, decide what your buffer needs to be for that account. Look at your back tested data, look at the forward tested data from the trades that you've taken live. What is your expected max drawdown? And then try and get a buffer based on that max drawdown. Number two, make sure you read the rules of the prop firm. How many days do you need to get in order to take a payout? What's the minimum amount you need to get for it to count as a green day? Every prop firm may differ, so it's up to you to read the rules and find out for yourself, of course. And then finally as well, focus on base hits, just getting those base hits day. Being okay with a base hit is really, really important in order to be able to get these consistent payouts over the course of a month. And then finally, you need a strategy that makes sense to you, that's simple, repeatable, and that's where the IB25 strategy for me just works beautifully. So I hope you got lots of value from this video. Make sure you let me know in the comments what you thought and what prop firms you're currently trying to get payouts from. Make sure you like and subscribe to the video as well. It helps the video get out to more people to be able to help them get payouts as well. So we'd really appreciate that. And until the next video, guys, see you soon.